I think my fiancé is setting me up, and also that she might be hiding something. Please help me. My fiancé's friend is hitting on me. My fiancé doesn't seem to mind, and even seems to encourage her behavior, and I can't make sense of what the hell is happening. First, let me give you some context. I'm not in the US, so I don't want legal advice, because it probably doesn't apply in my country, unless you're Brazilian. Anyway, I'm a 26-year-old guy, and I've been engaged to my fiancée, Laura, who's 29, for about 3 years. She's been in my life for almost 10 years, and we've been dating on and off since 2018. This will be relevant later. Our relationship has been great from the beginning. We're what most would call a bland couple. We mostly don't fight and agree on pretty much everything. Life goals, career, bedroom stuff, living standards, work-life balance, you name it. One thing we always agreed on was that we were monogamous. I have very strong personal views about open relationships. Laura's not as passionate about it, but she agreed that as long as we were a couple, we would be monogamous. But things started getting weird when a girl, let's call her Amanda, entered the picture. Laura met or reconnected with Amanda at work after the COVID restrictions were lifted. They became very close friends very quickly, spending a lot of time messaging or FaceTiming each other and going on girls' nights out. This was strange for Laura, who is normally very private and even a little shy. I confronted Laura about it not because I was jealous, but because it was out of character for her. She told me that Amanda was an old friend from school and that they used to spend a lot of time together but had lost contact and were now reconnecting. This explanation seemed reasonable, so I let it go. However, Amanda started being very flirty towards me. She would strike up conversations, compliment me a lot, and make sexual jokes and innuendos directed at me, even in front of Laura. I'm not used to being flirted with, but I know the difference between someone being nice and someone hitting on me. I let it rest for a while, thinking it might just be Amanda's personality. But then something happened in January that crossed my boundaries, and I felt the need to confront Laura again. I talked to her seriously about what I thought Amanda was doing and asked if she had noticed it and if it bothered her. Laura laughed at me, told me not to stress over it and to go with the flow. She even gave a little wink when she said that. After that, I didn't speak to Laura about the subject anymore, but Amanda's flirting became more straightforward. She even asked me out once while Laura was on a work trip. I obviously refused, told her I loved Laura and that we were monogamous, and she shrugged it off. But what kept me awake at night was something that happened just yesterday. The southernmost state of my country, Rio Grande do Sul, is currently experiencing terrible floods. I was there for work when the floods hit and ended up staying longer than planned because all flights were canceled. I decided to come back by bus, out of my own pocket. It was a very demanding trip, a day and a half to get to the state capital. From there, I had to wait about 10 hours for the next bus to my town, which would take another 3 hours. I arranged with Laura to meet me at the state capital's bus station, and we would get a hotel room for the night to rest before heading home. She loved the idea and said she would take care of everything. When she sent me the address, I realized it was a fancy love hotel. I thought it was a great idea since we hadn't had any intimacy for the past 2 weeks. Last night, I arrived at the bus station, followed her instructions to find the car, and as I approached it, Amanda got out. She was all dressed up and giggly. I panicked, wondering why she was there and if something had happened to Laura. Amanda said everything was fine and that Laura had asked her to pick me up and take me to the Love Hotel. I was flabbergasted. Amanda tried to coax me into the car, but I pretended to have forgotten my phone on the bus and darted back into the station. I texted Laura, who laughed at me. I realized she was behind this and told her I wasn't spending the night with Amanda at the Love Hotel. She kept laughing and said I was stupid and oblivious to miss that opportunity, and that we would talk when I got home. Confused and tired from the trip, I took a cab to the nearest hotel and booked a room for the night. I spent the night awake, overthinking and irrationally afraid that Amanda would find me somehow. I called Laura this morning. We had a quick chat, where she said Amanda was disappointed but not mad. Laura refused to discuss the subject further, saying she wanted to talk in person. I told her I felt confused and weird about the situation, but she reassured me everything was fine. I didn't think so and decided to stay another night at the hotel. I vented to my older sister, and she was a champ. She came with her husband to pick me up from the hotel and took me back to their home. We spent most of the day talking about the situation, and they gave me some great ideas about what to do next. I decided to spend the week at my sister's place. I briefly went home to pack some essentials, but since my sister tagged along, Laura and I didn't discuss the issue. I want to get to the bottom of this, but I feel my relationship is already doomed, no matter the reason behind what happened. Am I overreacting? Update. Well, this got more attention than I anticipated. I'm tired and busy right now, but I'll probably update you by next weekend. For those still interested, I managed to call my older sister and vent to her, and she was a champ. She came from my town with her husband. They picked me up at the hotel and took me back to their home. We spent most of the day talking about the subject. They gave me some great ideas about what to do next, and I ultimately decided I'll spend this week at my sister's. I also talked briefly to Lara when I went home to pack a few essentials, but since my sister tagged along, we didn't talk about the subject. I want to get to the bottom of the situation, but I feel my relationship is already doomed, no matter the reason behind what happened. Okay, now that this is all typed out, I realize this sounds really silly, but I don't know what to do. And I've already put some time into writing this, so I might as well post it and maybe get some much-needed insight.